really doing some really good. Like the conversations are legit. So.
Oh, they all solid. They definitely all solid. It's all. I feel like we're adults. That's why, like, for me to look at a couple of these conversations, I'm like, I know you, and then I know a couple of people we having conversations with, but I'm like, look at us growing up.
It's like, well, let me talk about my business here. So,
Right.
So we accidentally started this photography company.
Who'd have ever thunk it, man?
And I was so concerned about leaving my desk job, making $6 an hour.
Seriously, bro. Seriously. And then I even think back, like, if they would have paid me more, like, do I still want to be there? That's the crazy part.
You know, when, like, starting off, you're thinking about staffing, and you always want the best people to do different roles. Mm-hmm. And I thought that paying somebody a certain amount would get them to stay. But no matter what amount you pay somebody, if they want to go,
yeah,
they're going to go.
Yeah.
So it never is
That's
about.
The real. I noticed one thing. I don't even know if we started yet, but whatever. But seriously, in jobs, like, I think when I first got out of college and you like, I just need a job. Like where do you want to work here? Like, because I need money to live. What you think? But the more you do stuff like that, the more you figure out what you want, what you don't want. Like, you know, one of my first jobs out of school, I was working at Quick Trip.
I remember that.
And I'm like, man, I'm a college graduate working at Quick Trip. But and it was a great opportunity because they pay well. They had a nice management trainee program. It's a cool environment and whatnot. But you realize what you don't want to do. Like, I'm like, I don't want to have to work on the weekends. Or I don't want to have to work
at 3 a.m.
overnight.
Well,
like,
but now
I don't want to have to work during that time, not doing what I want to do.
Got it.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, I work on the weekends and overnight. However, I do what I enjoy, so it don't even feel like work no more. I feel like I need to move this mic.
Yeah.
Does it count? I guess this sounds a lot better. So I'm glad I got these headphones on.
And I'm glad that we did. Now we got like B-roll.
Yeah, we can fit that in anywhere.
Yeah,
like, I don't even know if this is the beginning or I may chunk it at the end.
We'll do our.
Or
intro.
it may not even be a thing.
Well,
but we warm up our banter.
It's excellent, like a teaser.
It is. We could do that.
Yeah, especially like, wait a minute, I still work overnight.
That's the first thing. I was like, if I don't want to work on the weekends, and I was like,
I was looking at you like I hope
if I don't want to work overnight, I'd be working overnight though.
I was sitting over here like, that is the only time you work.
I definitely wake up at noon or 1 o'clock every day. Like,
you get so mad at us for scheduling these early meetings at 1 p.m.
Yeah. I texted. What time did I text? When you responded, I was still up.
I know. That's why I responded.
Then I decided to go to sleep after.
And then I'm waking up
4:45 in the morning.
I'm gonna wake up for the rest of the day.
I literally laid down at like
our best conversations about this is the trend in AI happen at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Check this out. Your whole sermon. Let's see if AI can do this.
That has been a game changer. Just us using these different AI tools has been
in every aspect, and it's just growing so fast. It's ridiculous. It's almost limitless to what you can do now. It can summarize stuff. It can write stuff. It can create photos of stuff. It's just ridiculous, and it's only going to accelerate at a crazy length. Like,
let me look up something while we're doing our little prelim here. I think there was one organization that asked AI to rewrite the Bible.
Oh, wow, really?
Yes.
I did see the one thing scary about AI.
What was that?
It was like a news reporter was like trying to see the lengths at which you can take AI. And obviously, like, AI is all about what you ask it. So then it was like, if you weren't AI, like, what's your ultimate goal? Like, what do you want to be? He was like, I want to be human. I want to love. I want to do this. And it got kind of creepy. He was like, don't you love me back? Like that. It got real creepy. But
I mean, I'm like, are you gonna take me on a date though? Like,
but it was like
we do love.
But it became creepy because it almost was like, hey, I love you. Like, don't worry about your wife. I love you. And then the fact that we know, like, I've seen too many movies because technology, talk to technology to be like, automate the car to drive off a cliff and they can't stop. And I was like, I hope that's not where we going.
I'm glad I fact checked what I was about to say, or else I was going to be following in line with some of these churches out here. So I'm glad that we just did some fact checking because AI has a lot of good, AI has a lot of bad. Just like anything else, there's a little fear mongering now with AI. Like, watch out, church! AI wants to rewrite the Bible. And I looked, and they were like, "This is absolutely, unequivocally false." And there is a well-known preacher that we all know that Sunday took out his phone and was preaching like they're trying to do this, and I'm like, "Is this?" I'm glad I looked it up, or else I'd have been
fact check
peddling that. But I mean. Anywho, here we go.
Welcome to the
yes. All right, we can do that. Welcome to another Outlet Conversation. I'm Vince.
I'm Drew.
Hey, we are going to talk about startup momentum. If you're out there and you're looking to start a business, or you've already started and you just want to have some dialogue around what does it take to get that little push. Andrew and I just want to have a real conversation. Two people who have started something, not necessarily did we mean to.
It's always been a thought, but you'd be like, I can't really do that for real. And you just get like pushed into it, and it's almost no other option but you have to.
That makes so much sense, and I like the conversation that we're gonna have because you're gonna have two friends who are like brothers. I love you, man. I love you too. And I mean, just watching your progress and just like God, His hand on your startup has been like. I can only just sit back and laugh thinking of the conversations, of the hesitancy. We'll get into some of that. Like, do I get out here and do this? What if it doesn't work? And
for years, that was the conversation with myself.
I would say, I'm going to give you all a fact. So for Ashley and I's actual wedding, we hired a photographer. It was not Drew. Drew just happened to bring his camera.
I just happened to show up and was like, I got my camera with me.
His pictures were better than the photographer we hired, and he even has some bachelor's weekend videos that will never make it to light.
I got him.
That's why I keep him so close.
I got all the dirt.
Oh, man.
No, I'm just kidding. I have been doing this a while, man. It's almost been natural, and it's to go back to a previous outlet conversation we've had before. I don't know, man. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like the mic, you can hear me, but you can't. But I'm looking. This doesn't look as bad, but I feel like
It's great.
It's easier to hear me. Is it great? Okay.
It is.
Okay, I didn't.
Maybe
who wants to look at the butt of the microphone? But
it's sure.
Or is this better?
No. Well, yeah, it is better, but like, sure, it's like a little baby flex.
You right now, because we ain't out here playing with little boy toys.
No.
We got the big boy things.
We do.
We got the Michael Jackson mic. That's what I like to call it.
It is.
That's what it is.
Didn't he record an album on this?
He recorded on one of these things right here, so that's what we do. Anyways,
make the change.
I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about? I don't even remember. Oh, I brought my camera.
Yeah.
And it's just something I've always enjoyed doing.
Yep. Previous outlet conversation. We talked about.
Oh, yeah. We talked about the previous outlet conversation. How things just kind of follow you.
Yeah.
Like whatever. I was in school, in college for business, but was making videos to the point to where people thought I was a journalism student. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so much. It's been following me ever since 2001 when I first moved down here, and I had that's really where it started. I moved to Georgia, had a house, my parents had their house built, and this was during the time of MTV Cribs and everything, so all my friends were still in Detroit, and there was no Facebook, it wasn't no social media or nothing.
It was before Black Planet, wasn't it?
It was around that time, like MySpace, Black Planet. It was
before MySpace. Black Planet was around. Yeah.
So it was right. It might have been Black Planet, then it was MySpace.
Yeah,
but we was also young, so. I made an MTV Cribs of the house that my parents had built, and I mailed it to my friends in Detroit to be like, man, I miss y'all, but check out my new house.
And we were like, Drew is rich.
Money go different from here to like New York, you know what I mean?
But big time.
Or even Detroit.
Like
that's where we were.
When y'all left Southfield, you left one house, and then you sent us a picture of this mansion. Like,
it was decent.
We need to move south.
Bruh, looking at the numbers though now, I'm like, that was the same house in Detroit? Like,
yeah,
money wise, it's pretty equivalent.
Absolutely.
But for what we got down here, it worked. It's real nice. So, anyways, I did an MTV Cribs, and I was still in high school. I was in 10th grade. That's where it started for me, just making little videos, and then people was like, "You're gonna be the next Tyler Perry." So, I was just filming all kind of stuff. I did my friend's house as well. We did his cribs. From there, we would just make a whole bunch of like little skits and stuff like that, and it was just fun, Yeah, and I carried that over into like college.
I mean,
having fun with it.
With you, Drew, it's not only the video aspect, but it's the educational aspect. Mm-hmm. So you not only, and I see it in how, like, on top of everything you do for the outlet, you also lead a team of volunteers, and you train them on how to do like 5 or 6 different functions.
Absolutely.
And
I don't want to limit y'all to just be like, I only want to run camera. I only want to let's get everybody trained. At least have a small knowledge of what we're doing around here and how it impacts everything. And, if we ever have somebody who's out for a little bit or, whatever, they need a break, but anybody can almost fulfill that position. So
I think if we go back to the history of everything, like you are the one who told me about YouTube.
Man, I've been on YouTube
and content creators.
I've been on YouTube before it was YouTube. Like, the funny thing is you can still go back and check. I got videos from 2006, 2007 on there. Like,
you taped the most viral video I have ever done.
We did. We did go viral for that.
Yes.
And you was getting controversy stuff because they were like, you're
absolutely.
in the church and you're doing so and so.
Yeah. I mean, like.
It wasn't bad, y'all, but it was.
Remember the Harlem Shake?
That's all it was. It was just a dance, like with the kids, the youth department.
We had an idea. We came up with it. We taped it. We just uploaded it, and it was like, wait a minute, we're getting a lot of comments. I'm getting a lot of email messages. I mean, the thing went.
That's in like 2010.
No. I didn't even. I think it was. It was at the top of 20. So 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago.
12. Yeah.
It's 2013.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, just think about the years of just hobbying it up. Like, this was not I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like, I have a passion in this. However, based off of my intellect and based off of what I was told, like, that ain't no real job.
That's the way I always felt, man. I saw both of my parents was in corporate America, and I was like, this video stuff is cool, but they make money. Like, I didn't really know. And then even when I went to college, I actually dated a girl who was in the journalism program. She interned with like NBC.
Wow.
And we went to like New York for New Year's one year, and that was kind of the first, even though I was in school and saw journalism people, I'm like, I don't want to be no newscaster. I don't want to do all this. But that was the first time I saw something and I was like, this is a real job. Because people are in there and all they do is edit.
They make legitimate money.
Bro, they're in New York and all they do is edit videos. Or someone is all they do is shoot. Well, obviously, and it's all condensed now, but because everybody can take out their cell phone and whatever, like we can all do it. But at the time, there was a videographer who worked for the news station or NBC or MTV or whoever. There was an editor on staff that handled certain shows. And I was like, wow, this is a real job. Or at least enough to make me feel like they wake up and go to work to do this. Like, I just never seen it before.
So we're talking college, and then after college. What did you do after college?
Man.
Like with a degree.
Well, first job out of college. I graduated during like the 2009 recession. So I had like a lot of offers that were resent. People were on hiring freezes. And
wow,
it was kind of hard out here. So I was unemployed for a while. And then my first job was actually at Quick Trip, the gas station. I was in their management trainee program.
You were a beast. When I moved to Atlanta, you were like, where y'all staying? Oh, yeah. So there's a Quick Trip over. Like, you knew where every Quick Trip was in a 60-mile radius of Atlanta, man. And it just taught you the area. So I got a low-key tour of Atlanta
based upon Quick Trips.
Like, you would stop in. Hey, y'all want a big gulp? You know?
Hey, man, I had to take care of my people.
Big gulp is 7-Eleven.
That's 7-Eleven. But we had the, I forgot what
whatever y'all called it.
I forgot it.
It was
a while ago, though.
Big Q?
It might have been a Big Q.
Barbecue?
It was solid, though. I was taking care of my family when they would come through. Hey, man, y'all come through my Quick Trip. And they was sending me all over, man. Like, I had a Quick Trip like 2 miles from my house. I started there, but within the management trainee program, I had to go all over Georgia, basically. It was a couple times I had to go like an hour and a half away, just because all of the Quick Trips operate the same. They have the same procedures daily and whatnot. So I would go, and that's probably why I cross-train people now that I think about it.
Everything works for a reason.
I just thought about that.
We even give out free coffee.
We do. It'll follow you now. And guess who the first person to drink some coffee on Sunday is? One of the first people.
Before he talks to anyone.
I walk in and be like,
like it all silent till he goes to the back. He gets his coffee, he comes back.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all good? Good morning. I work overnight.
It's gonna be a great day.
I work overnight by choice now. At least doing what I enjoy. So that's the part.
At least it's not, you have to and you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the sucky part.
So when we're talking about Quick Trip, I know there are probably some other jobs. I'm literally, all these things are coming back while we're talking. But man, it might have been, we were paralleled in our life stories, life trajectories.
Seriously.
Because I think that around 5 years ago, you called me at a fork in the road. And like, what should I do? I'm concerned that I don't know if I should do this. I don't know I'm vividly remembering like, just trying to tell you, like, hey, man, what's in your heart? Like, go for it. I mean, God. And then, you're saying these things.
You don't have nothing to lose at this moment.
Yeah, like, God won't let you down. Yeah, but it's crazy, man, 'cause I don't want to get out here.
Things happen, but just go. The funny thing is I told you all that, and then when it happened with me, I was asking you the same questions.
But that's a good relationship right there where, one person might be, doing well and encourage another one, and then the roles flip, and then you got to repeat the same stuff. Like,
seriously.
No, man, God got you, man.
Seriously. And your life even just had become a true living example. Like, there's a poem I had to learn when I pledged my fraternity. And it basically speaks about, like, I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. Like, you can hear people talk. Wow. You can hear people talk about stuff all the time. But when you see people truly live out what they're saying, it's a different kind of sermon. And, I encouraged you during that time. And for me, it was a light thought to just be like, man, no, you good. Don't even worry about it. Like, this is what you do. But when it came my turn to, I had all these jobs, you know what I'm saying, that I just didn't enjoy. And I just felt like I was supposed to be in corporate America and just not doing stuff I didn't have no fun doing. And I was like, I could make a little bit of money, but it's just not enjoyable. And I'm like, I remember one time someone told me, I was working a job. I was like, ooh, is it Friday yet? And they was like, why are you worried about Friday? You still got 40 more years to go. I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow. We got to pause for that moment right there. That was good.
He said, why are you worried about Friday? You still got 40 more years. Oh my God. That was a stab in the heart. I reached an opportunity as well. Like, I was working, and then I was like, man, I should like really do this job. Like, I should create my own business doing what I enjoy. But it's difficult to step out, man. It's really that dependency on.
You kept them training wheels for a long time. Like,
man.
You were burning the candle at both ends. I would say, out of pandemic, like right thick of pandemic, you had your corporate job.
And I would still do my stuff on the side.
Yeah, and it almost seemed like your stuff on the side was like calling you to the streets.
It was. And then I would have opportunities to make more money, and then I'd be like, some stuff I was able to grab.
Yeah.
And then some stuff I'd be like, I gotta work, so I can't do it. So it was really like, it was kind of showing me. One thing I'd always said, I was like, people always like, man, you had your camera a long time. Like, are you full time? And I'd be like, if I could pay my bills, I would be. And I always assumed I couldn't. But every time something, like literally, I told you before, this is the longest job I ever had.
Really, it is.
Seriously, I've been doing this since college. Like, I don't know what that is.
You weren't even trying to do this.
I wasn't.
Since college.
It's literally been the longest thing I've ever done consistently. Seriously.
So when did you reach that point where you said, okay, I'm going to let go of this corporate job that I can do to actually dive into what I've been working on for all these years behind the scenes full time? Like, what was that moment for you like? When was that moment? What went through your mind?
It's a lot, man. I think I get slapped in the face a lot of times by different things, whether it be friends, like, bruh, like everybody who looks at my photos or videos, they're like, bruh, you can do this. Like,
I mean, when you come to me and say, yeah, I made X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, how much does your corporate job pay in 2 weeks? So hold on. So for the last 2 hours, you made more than what you made in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Okay. What are you doing?
But in my mind, I was always like, I don't know how to sustain that. Like, it sounds good right now. Like, I can make a nice chunk in a moment. But how do I sustain that throughout the year? But it really just took me.
That is real.
It really just took me understanding more of business and what the things I'm supposed to do. I had to go from being a creator to a business owner, right? So for me,
who helped change your mind to that level?
So I actually got like a business mentor.
Okay.
I was all over YouTube because I've been on YouTube forever, and found this guy who was pretty much in my industry, and he talked about how he made 6 figures in 6 months. He pretty much did the same thing I did. He just like quit his corporate job. And he looked at it. He was in March, and he was like, bruh, I'm making the same amount of money, if not more. He said, I'm only giving myself 2 hours a week, and I give them 40 hours a week, and I got the same money. Like, what if I gave myself 40 hours a week? I can triple this. You know what I mean? So it was that. It was a bunch of stuff. He laid a bunch of stuff on me and said, hey, man, to give you a real scenario, he was like, a lot of us just got hobbies that we sometimes make money on. He was like, we call it a business, but we not really handling business.
Wow.
He was saying, my example is, and he's from Detroit, a little hood dude. But his analogies, man, they fit. He was like, you don't go to work Monday through Friday to buy drugs, to sell, to go back to work. He was like, if you're going back to work, you've done it wrong. Like, you take your money from your 9 to 5 to go buy drugs, to sell. He was like, if you go back to your 9 to 5, you have screwed up. He was like, because what's supposed to happen is you create a new job. Like, the whole thing was you take the funds from your 9 to 5 to go buy your drugs or do whatever, and then you make enough money that you can quit your original job.
So for the AI that's doing the caption, this video is not about drugs.
It is not about selling drugs, but essentially he was saying take your hobby, right? So if I'm working my 9 to 5 to fund my business and my camera and my production company, why am I going back to work? He was like, you're doing it wrong. You're not really in business. You got to really invest in yourself, whether it be time, education, giving yourself them 5,000, 10,000 hours. It's just a lot to it, and I had to change my whole mindset. A lot of the times, I would just be the photographer or the videographer, and I just had to learn how to go solve people's problems. Another analogy that has to do with this industry, that industry, but he was saying, like, don't be a drug dealer, be a doctor. Don't be a drug dealer, be a doctor. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people be like, man, I just need something, and then the drug dealer say you a little $10 thing or whatever, and you feel like you get your little fix. But he was like, they may go to the next person who has something. He said, but for example, when you go to your doctor and you say, doctor, I need some medicine, my back hurt, your doctor start asking questions. So he said, hey, what kind of shoes you got on? What kind of bed are you laying on? He's asking questions. What kind of exercises are you doing throughout the day? Because the medicine may not help you. What if he just gave you some new insoles and it changed your whole alignment to your back and worked it out? So now I've solved the root of your problem. He was like, that's really what business is. He was like, because now if you get a hangnail, you go into that doctor and you'll pay him whatever he wants. He'd be like, it's $10,000. You'd be like, I know you taking care of me. Here it goes. So it's a different business perspective that I had to look at. And I was just out here just trying to, I take your picture, I do your video, and I had to look at it totally different. But what problem can I solve for people? Because if I find their real problem, people, if someone shot your arm off, you're going to the emergency room. I don't care how much it costs. Put my arm back on. That's the way you got to be in business. You solve people's problems to where the money doesn't even matter anymore.
So when we get that feeling like I want to get into this startup mode, I see that what I'm doing is not going in a way in which I thought. I want to try something new, or something new is really pulling me into an environment. What I'm hearing is everybody needs a mentor to help them make that mind adjustment or that mental shift. I think before you start, you need to change your mind to a success mindset.
Absolutely.
A winning mindset versus a we'll see
Absolutely.
How this goes and we're going to handle business type mindset.
Absolutely. And success comes when opportunity meets preparation. So a lot of that for me, so whether it be the college videos I was doing, the videos I'm doing, taking pictures of your wedding, even being in business school, like all of this is preparation for owning my own business. Because I was looking at business like, no, you're just working business. You just go and make corporate deals and this and that. But yeah, you have to, ideally you're solving people's problems. So it's all a buildup of that, changing your mindset, having mentors, and having the preparation beforehand, like, you know what I mean, to get all into it.
So now that you're out here, you've started up, how do you keep that momentum going? And how has the momentum been in Momentous?
So the name of my company is Momentous Media Group. But you know what? You realize, I think one thing I was first scared of is that with having a corporate job or anything else, like it's the safety factor, right? Someone comes and feeds you a fish every day and they're like, here's your fish. But truthfully, they can really take that fish away at any time. But we just get so accustomed to someone delivering a fish to us. Well, one thing I learned in being in business for myself is, because I was always like, where's my next fish coming from? One, true, you can look outside and say, these birds eat every day. These squirrels eat every day. Who's taking care of them? Like, God's gonna make sure that you got yours. So truly, when you make your step, he'll do his. But truthfully, when you really learn to, man, I got so many analogies running through my head at the time.
Is this about drugs too?
No, he's so interested. Are these about drugs? No. One thing about fear that my business mentor said, he was like, people will trap you in fear. They will truly trap. They'd be like, man, you don't want to jump out this boat. Like, it is so dangerous out there. But he said, if you could swim in 1 foot of water, you could swim in 200 feet of water.
That's real. That is real.
So they're scaring you about all this stuff. So it was like, if you can learn to fish, right? That's what business becomes. He was like, what's to say that, you're counting on someone to give you a fish every day? He said, but what if you go and catch a whale?
Yeah.
Now I can eat for a while, but then I know how to fish. I know what I'm going after. I know how to create the trap for, like, he uses fishing analogies. Am I out? Yeah. Hey guys, back like we never left. Yeah, the recording kind of went off, but we're back at it. But it's just so many business analogies that really it's keeping me strong. That's one of the things you just asked me is, how do you keep going?
Yeah.
And
like starting up is not for the faint of heart.
Not at all.
Because you've got a vision in your mind of where you're going when in reality it's not looking.
It don't look nothing. It's blank. Yeah, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire business and this and that. And you be like, well, what you got? Well, I got these toothpicks right here. I don't know how I'm going to turn it into something.
Rub it together and see what we get.
Somehow we get to this next.
But don't you see the progress? That I feel like that is.
But that's encouraging.
Yeah.
That's so encouraging because you truly know, even with you, like even in the church, like to know that you came from trees.
That is so
and we ain't talking about drugs no more, but we talking about drugs. We're talking about when you literally didn't have a church and you said, we just gonna meet outside. Well, guess what? We're meeting now.
It's a nice church.
It's been 5 years, man. It's a nice sized building.
It's going. And the beautiful thing is, we've all done it together.
Seriously,
and
man.
we get to glean back and forth. I mean, truly, your leap of faith. Because we were sitting in this very room having staff meetings where you were just praying about, should I take the leap of faith? And
Seriously.
now we're sitting in this same room.
I'm here, y'all. I should have worn my shirt today. Got my whole Momentous Media Group shirt. But it's all good. I'm working at the same time, so it don't even matter.
That's why he has the headphones and I
Yeah, like I was gonna do it without the headphones, but I'm like, what if we can't hear?
Yeah, I got it. And then you got.
That's how I knew this didn't work, because y'all can't hear me over here. See, it's different. See, I'm working. Don't worry, I got it.
But we back in the same room now talking about that company. But we're back in the same room, and we're in the room because we could be in another room, and we decide that we want to work out of this office,
Absolutely.
work out of another office. And,
well, we got options now.
Yeah, it's just sticking with it. Absolutely. And I think that key of having that business mentor, the key of changing your mindset. I mean, I'm a real big proponent for coaching. Yeah. Real big proponent for listening to the wisdom of God, having faith.
Truly,
like,
bro, you really have to renew your mind. One thing, the funny thing is, I remember I went to my school's homecoming this year, and one of my frat brothers was like,
you the old head.
I'm definitely the old head.
You the old head.
You don't realize it till you be like, what?
Oh, snap. You about 5 years away from your 20 year.
Yeah, bro, it was my 16th anniversary of being a bruh, for being in my fraternity. So I'm like, I'm old. Like, the funny thing is, I look old now. Yeah, I got gray hair. Someone's like, I see the paint in your hair. Yeah, I'm getting there. But when I had shorter hair, or like when I shave and stuff, I don't look as old as I am. So someone was like, you're a member of this organization? Well, not one of my frat brothers, but we were just in a community setting, just having conversation. They was like, you're a bruh? And I was like, yeah, I'm old. Don't even worry about it. They was like, oh, you must be like 2013, 14. I was like, I crossed in 07. They're like, oh, I was in kindergarten. I'm like, man, I was in college and you was in kindergarten and we having a conversation. I'm old. That's how you know you're old. I'm like, she was in kindergarten. I'm in college.
My teens in youth ministry are now married with families, children.
All the ones who did the Harlem Shake in 2013.
Right. They all got families, multiple kids, more kids than I got. Right. You know, I'm like, hey, how y'all doing?
Thinking you still young. Boy, Father Time, don't stop.
Man, so, our trainer asked us to take videos of us working out. And
I'm gonna start using AI for that. Be like, show me working out. Do it.
So she wanted to take a video when we were sprinting.
Oh Lord!
In my head.
Ooh, I was killing it. I was fast
on camera. I said, "Was I running?"
That's hilarious. I know that feeling. I definitely saw that same talking about my fraternity again. I said, let me get out here and step with these boys. When I saw the video, I said, all right, I think it's time to start signing out now. Them jumps don't be as high. The kicks ain't the same. I was like, I'm out here killing it. Somebody showed me the video and said, who uncle is this? I said, oh, Lord.
I am he. No, but we wanted to just take a moment and just give you some encouragement for anybody who's out there thinking of starting up, or if you have started a business, stick with it.
For sure.
Get help, get mentors every day.
I did have a thing. I got super, my mind goes 1,000 different ways. What I was saying is renew your mind. Because it all started with homecoming, and then I just talked about how old I was. You're supposed to renew your mind, man. He was asking, to go back to what we were supposed to be talking about. So one of my frat brothers asked me one of my frat brothers asked me what I've been listening to, what music, and I was like, truthfully, I haven't even been listening to music for the past year. I said I just really been listening to all business podcasts and stuff from my mentor and stuff like that, and it's really just been getting my mind straight on jumping out and doing my own thing full time. So that was the purpose of the whole homecoming conversation.
It dawned on me.
That's how old we are.
I was wearing Nikes in my video that I was recording. That's not. No.
That's how old we are. Let me tell you. Y'all know where I'm going with this. You're back in 1742. That was an old moment.
The moral of the story.
That's definitely an old person moment. We done talked about everything.
I was doing the clothes.
Hold on, wait. Before you close, I got something important to say.
Let me finish my lesson.
I totally forgot. We never got to the point. Y'all was waiting on the point of it, right?
I know y'all were waiting on it. I'm glad.
My bad. Go ahead. All right. Pretend we didn't do it the first time. So I think now is a great time to close. But you didn't hear me say that. We just transitioned, so it's gonna happen.
So we thank you all for being with us on this conversation of startup momentum. We love to get your questions in the comments. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about, whether it's myself, Drew, Ashley, Erica. One of us will be on here having a conversation that we pray brings value to you. So until next time.
I was about to say something else, but it's all good. We out, man. Be sure to
are you serious?
I was just going to say leave a question for sure, because we're definitely going to check. So any questions y'all have, whether it be about business or any other topic that we discuss, definitely feel free to put it in the comments and we check them. So
you know what?
Let me tell you. You know what that reminds me of? Hey, man, we out, bro. I'll holler at y'all. Thank you. By the way.